Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith. There are a couple of articles that I wanted to share with you guys today. I think it's important that we kind of, mention what is happening, what is taking place at the World Economic Forum. They're in Davos. This is their annual meeting. So the first one that I wanted to share with you guys is this article stating that this rebel news reporter was actually threatened by a CNBC official when he attempted to ask him some questions about why they were there and sort of what their goals were with being at this convention. And then he did not realize that he was being recorded. And he actually made some comments about how he would like to sort of punch this guy out. And that was actually caught on the mic by another individual that he had sent in there. So this Avi Yamini from Rebel News Australia is the one conducting this interview. And he was asking some simple questions of this CNBC's international managing editor.
So, can I ask you what CNBC is doing here? You can't. I can't ask you.
No, you can't. I'd rather you didn't put a camera in my face. Thank you.
Really? But you're here as an invited guest, and you're an editor for CNBC. Don't you think that's a bit of a conflict of interest?
I'd like you to go away. I haven't agreed to an interview. If you're doorstepping me, go away. Seriously, take my camera.
Don't touch the mic.
Get away from me, brother.
You're meant to speak. You're meant to be speaking truth to power. Are you here just to take your marching orders? Is that what you're here for?
Do you want to go away?
Not really. I'm here to do what you should be doing.
Yeah? Please take this out of my mouth. I'm going to have you escorted off with security.
All right. Do that. There you go. CNBC. Their job is supposed to be doing what he's complaining I'm doing. And now he's calling security to escort me off the premises. Well,
I think it's wonderful that we actually do have a few news organizations out there that are still trying to get us the real news, that are still trying to do the hard reporting. But it really just sort of, adds credence to the fact that these people that are hired are just hired as being that sort of lens or that filter for these individuals at the World Economic Forum to put them in the best light, right? They're not going to ask the hard questions. They're not going to ask the tough questions. They're not going to dig into the real issues. They're just going to sort of, softball them, whatever it is, to put them in the best light possible. And obviously, this individual, this Avi Yamini, is not into that at all.
what's the problem?
You're my problem. You've been very rude to me this morning. You haven't asked me anything, so I'd like you to take the camera off me.
I've literally asked you questions politely, which should be your job. That's your job, sir. I'm doing your job. I'm just not getting paid for by Klaus Schwab. You were inside as he walked in, a bit upset. What did you hear him say?
I heard him say, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have the exact thing, but he came in sounding quite angry, saying, I'm going to punch him out. Paraphrasing there, he's knocked out, punched out, but, he wanted to hit you. Didn't know it was about you until I came out, and then I heard somebody else complaining about you to your face. That point I realised Avi had a word with him.
I don't know, but this guy's going to get punched out.
The other thing that I wanted to share with you is this Cooperation in a Fragmented World article about Klaus Schwab and his call to master the future. So as he opened up the World Economic Forum, he said that we are confronted with so many crises simultaneously. And he's referring to, obviously, the supply chain disruptions, the droughts, all of the issues that we've had because of the pandemic, all of the issues that we've had with the Russia and Ukraine situation.
We couldn't meet at a more challenging time. We are confronted with so many crises simultaneously. What does it need to master the future? I think to have a platform where all stakeholders of global society are engaged. Governments, business, civil societies, the young generation, and I could go on, I think is a first step to meet all the challenges.
So yes, they want to bring all of these people together, but they need all of these people, right, to cooperate in order to accomplish this. We have to have, this mass deception. All of these people, are actually in on it together in this organized plan, right? And so this is what he's talking about. But they honestly believe that they are, chosen to sort of master the future. And I think that that in itself is very telling. And almost immediately after his remarks there, they had a Swiss MP from the Green Party that was promoting these, 15-minute walking cities. So I'm going to play that clip too in just a second. But I just wanted to mention, we've talked a lot. There's been a lot of information out in the prepping community about these 15-minute cities. These cities sort of styled where they are segregated into sections and you can only stay in that immediate area. Your job is going to be there. Everything you need is going to be there as far as your grocery stores, whatever it is you need within walking distance. And if you want to visit somebody in another neighboring section of the city, you're going to have a special pass to get to that area of the city. So they are really pushing for this. This is what they want. They don't want a lot of movement. They want to track and trace and control as much as they possibly can. And people need to be aware of this. They need to understand what is going on. And he says that a lot of this is already happening in the cities because, people sort of, they don't need vehicles as is. A lot of them just walking to and fro. They live in this sort of area of the city where they have everything they need anyhow. So no, why not go ahead and sort of capitalize on that, right? The other thing that he mentioned, and I think, this is telling as well, is that he's encouraging them to punish the government agencies to punish businesses that don't adhere to these climate agreements. So any company that isn't going to, push for this, that isn't going to, promote all of this, green energy, that isn't going to, tell people that this is what they need to do and sort of follow all of these laws that they are outlining, then they are going to be punished for that. So I think that is important for us to be aware of. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip for you as well.
Yeah, so I think what's important for policy is really to change the rules of the game, no? So that sustainability becomes the easier choice, not just for the people, but also for the companies, no? So I think an important measure in Switzerland was to have support for renewable energy, for energy efficiency, but also then changing the way districts work. For instance, in Zurich, we have a lot of districts where you actually don't need a car because all the activities, school, buying something, everything you can do in walking distance, And by doing that, people don't buy a car and it's not felt like actually they would like to have a car and they are not allowed to have it, but they simply don't need it, because the environment was built in a way that they don't need it. And I think this is what policy needs to do. They have to change the environment. So a sustainable lifestyle, a lifestyle in harmony with nature is the easiest way to go. And also for the companies. And here perhaps a last point. I really like what you said on following through. We had all these nice commitments. We had the Paris Agreement. We also here at World Economic Forum have every year very nice commitments. What's important is really to follow through and also to shed the light. Sometimes you're very critical with those who are acting, say there are, and we need to be critical, and see that there's no greenwashing, but we should also put the light on those who are not acting. And I think policy needs to try, and I think, for instance, Biden's suggestion that the government only buys with companies who commit to Paris, who commit to science-based targets. I think that's a smart policy.
So these are all things that we need to be aware of, guys. This is what they're working on. They are really deeply trying to change our way of life. And it's not going to be for the better. It's definitely going to be to their benefit. They're going to be the ones coming out of this, sort of unscathed. They still have the ability to have their private jets and, all of the meat they want and, whatever fancy amenities that they want, and then the rest of us are going to be tracked and traced and told what we can purchase and what we can't, and how much we can eat and how much we can't eat, and where we can go and when we can do it, and all of these things, all of these restrictions. You can see it coming at us from every direction, and with them getting all of these businesses and banking systems and all of these things on board, that is just going to accelerate this. So we need to be aware of this. We need to have plans in place for our families. We need to be preparing on as many levels as we possibly can. We need to stay aware of these things so that we know what's coming. And as a Christian, I prefer to be aware of what's going on so that I can see the biblical prophecy that is unfolding before us. I think that we are obligated to do that. I think that we should be doing that. We need to be praying against these things. We need to, be doing everything we can to ready our families. We need to have, as many resources as we can on hand. And then also, trying to build those relationships with like-minded individuals so that we can collaborate, share resources, share knowledge, have that relationship and build that trust with others that we are going to need going forward. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.